Hey everybody, and welcome to Truck King. Hey, we're coming to you from the Detroit Auto Show, and here's one of the new vehicles that they dropped on us today. This is the 2024 GMC Acadia, and we've got a Denali. Well, actually Denali's over there. This one's an AT4, so we've got two new trim levels, but other than that, what are we looking at here? Longer, wider, faster, taller, kind of the Superman version of what this used to be.
Exactly, so let's go over all the details. So as Dad mentioned off the top, the Acadia is bigger now. It's 10.6 inches longer than the last generation. It's about 3.2 inches taller than the last generation. And maybe the most important number, they say there is 80% more cargo room behind the third row. So if you consider that, and then you'll see what that space looks like, they've really grown the cargo at the back of this SUV, plus adding a little bit more space for the third row. And I think with any vehicle with the third row, frankly, that ends up being the ask from consumers. We want it to be bigger because you're only buying this if you have a bunch of people to haul.
Yeah.
So I think this is sort of a natural step. However, you can't go too big because then you might start treading on Tahoe and Suburban and Escalade and Yukon.
And Yukon, exactly. However, you did need more cargo space because like with a lot of seven-seaters today, most manufacturers jump into that market because they say we've got to have a seven-seater. We don't want to lose customers to other brands because we're not offering a third row. But they don't change the vehicle, they just jam the third row in there. That's what the previous generation was. In this one, they've fixed that.
Powering this 2024 Acadia, there's only one engine option. It's a 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder, 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque, and that is sent through an 8-speed automatic transmission and available all-wheel drive. Not standard, but it is available. Now the model...
Wait a minute. Red tow hooks.
Red tow hooks, that's exactly what I was getting to.
Gotta have red tow hooks.
The model we're getting to here is the AT4, which has been fully updated for 2024. And as Dad mentioned, yes, you get the red tow hooks because even though AT4 is about going off-road, it's also about styling. So you get unique looks at the front around the vehicle to make sure people know that you bought the AT4. AT4 exclusive features include a 1-inch taller ride height, coupled with 18-inch wheels and all-terrain tires. You get a unique off-road tuned suspension, and then one of the more interesting features, an AT4 exclusive active torque control all-wheel drive system, which features a twin-clutch rear differential. So let's take a look at the rear end. We made a big deal out of the cargo space, so what does it look like? Well, here you go. This is definitely a vehicle where if you want full access of the cargo, you're going to put that third row down, or if you want a little bit more space for people, you leave it up. But they've added all of this space back here, so again, Dad, with the third row in operation, it's a pretty legitimate amount of cargo.
You've got a place for groceries, for gear bags, for that matter, a set of golf clubs, and your third row is still usable. Before, it was a question of people or gear, right? You didn't have a choice.
Now it's a bit more of both. Plus, a little party trick here. The whole floor lifts up, and that's quite a bit of space down there, which is nice. And then actually shows you here on this little outline that the spare tire is underneath this plastic bin. So you're still getting the spare with access from inside, and you're getting that space. Now here on our AT4, the third row is manual, so I gotta pull that and push it down. Of course, over on the Denali though, all these seats are powered.
So over here, we're going to look at the Denali version of this new Acadia. And frankly, probably this is the big news, okay? Denali is already a huge seller within the GMC lineup. So we should have it over here because you really do want to see what this interior looks like.
Yeah, come take a look.
And as a matter of fact, Steve's already in here, so you can tell us what you think of it.
I mean, it's beautiful in here. You're getting real wood accents. These are laser etched. You can see that nice Denali stamped right into it there. Once again, a nice use of materials, the stitching. Right in the center here, that is a 15-inch touchscreen. So we've now moved to this larger screen, fully digital display right in front of me as well. And then just these seats, not only are they very comfortable, they're very nice to look at. You get this kind of quilted pattern. And yes, of course, they're heated and ventilated up here in the front row. So then you're also getting loads of technology here in the Acadia Denali. Wireless cell phone charging, I mentioned the screen. Another new technology that's a first for Acadia, you do now get Super Cruise. So this thing does have full hands-free driving. Another thing I noticed, which I think is interesting, they've moved the shifter over here to a stock. No more push button, no more dial. They've actually gone to a stock shifter. That's something a little bit new for General Motors as well. And then this is the panoramic sunroof. They call it a pillar-to-pillar sunroof. I don't see how it's different from any other sunroof I've ever seen, but it is a monster sunroof up above my head. And then of course a Bose sound system, 12 standard speakers, but you can get up to 16. So yes, this Denali is just loaded with luxury and technology.
Well, and Liam, you got to pan the back, because the thing that always strikes me, particularly with Denali, is that they pay as much attention to the backseat passengers as they do to the front seat passengers. So, you know, the same materials, the same stitching, all the controls, heating, air conditioning, heated seats, all the electrical plug-ins, right down to really just beautiful architecture, including on the doors.
Yeah, and then as I mentioned, all of these seats are powered. So here at the back end of your Denali, you can stand here, hold the buttons, and they should come up for me. There we go, just took a second. And you know what, folks? In a third row vehicle, there's only one good way to test it. I gotta jam myself back there and see how I fit, because if I fit, anybody will fit. So let's go see. So the second row here actually kind of pops forward to give me a little bit more space to climb in. And here I go.
Uh-oh, where'd he go?
So I don't have an official legroom spec for you, but it feels like just enough. This is probably in the mid to low 30 inches, I would guess. I do have just enough knee room. The issue actually here, and I'll put the seat down so you can see it. Oh, the seat moves in two different ways. That's cool. My knees are quite tall. You have this big hump in the floor back here. So the seat and my knees, yeah, just the height of them is not all that comfortable for a bigger dude. And yes, I stand at 6'2", although I will say loads of headroom, and that can often be a problem for me in third rows. So good headroom, decent knee room. It's just this sort of floor configuration that makes it uncomfortable. But I could ride back here for a medium length ride and still be comfortable. So not bad. And the fact that we have all that cargo in the back now, that makes a big difference. Whoop. And that actually made it a lot easier to get out with the seat like that. So yeah, I think they addressed the areas they needed to with the Acadia, those being space, third row comfort, and storage.
Very nice.
So there you have it, folks. You've seen this updated 2024 Acadia. Now this thing will be built in Lansing, Michigan, and it will actually be available in early 2024. So yeah, that's it for this one. Now we need to hear from you. Go in the comments, let me know what you think of the all-new Acadia, the AT4, the off-road stuff, and of course this gorgeous Denali. And then as always, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then keep coming back to the channel as we keep covering more trucks and cars from the Detroit Auto Show.
See you now.
See ya.